My dear friends, let me begin with a truth that touches us all. Growing old is not something to fear, but something to embrace. Yet, for many, old age becomes a burden, not a blessing. Why? Not always because of destiny or bad luck, but because of foolish mistakes that rob people of joy, peace, and health. Today, I want to talk with you, heart to heart, about 8 of these mistakes that make life miserable in old age, and more importantly, how we can avoid them with wisdom and courage. When we understand these mistakes, we give ourselves a gift, the chance to live the later years of life with dignity, laughter, and meaning. Now, let us walk through these mistakes together. The first mistake so many elders make is ignoring their health until it is too late. Think about how often we hear someone say it's just a small pain. I'll be fine. Then, a year later, that small pain turns into a major illness. I once knew an elderly gentleman who never wanted to go to the doctor. Doctors only give medicine and waste your time, he used to say. But the truth was, his blood pressure was climbing year after year, quietly damaging his heart. By the time he finally went for a checkup, the damage had already been done. My friends, our bodies speak to us. A little shortness of breath, frequent headaches, joint pains, these are whispers, warnings. If we ignore them, they turn into shouts. Health is not something we protect once in a while. It is something we care for every day. Regular checkups, even if they seem boring, are investments in peace of mind. Eating balanced meals instead of junk or heavy foods is not punishment, it is kindness to yourself. Exercise does not mean lifting heavy weights. Even walking slowly in the garden, stretching lightly, or dancing to music you enjoy can keep your body alive. Old age is not about stopping, it is about adapting. Ignore health and misery follows, care for health, and old age becomes smoother, lighter, and brighter. The second mistake many people make is believing that loneliness is normal. They lock themselves away in 4 walls, thinking, this is how life is supposed to be now, but human beings are not meant to live in silence. We are creatures of connection. Without laughter, without conversation, without warmth, the heart shrinks. I met a widow once who stopped going out after her husband passed away. She said, "What's the point? My best companion is gone." For 10 years she lived in silence, watching television all day. One day her granddaughter dragged her to a senior club. At first, she resisted. She thought it was silly. But slowly, she began to talk, to smile, to laugh again. She realized that loneliness was not her destiny, it was her choice. My dear friends, do not let loneliness take root in your life. Call an old friend, join a community group, attend social gatherings, even if only for a cup of tea. These small connections are not small, they are lifelines. Loneliness is not normal, it is dangerous, it eats away at happiness. Companionship, even a little of it, keeps us alive inside. The third mistake is living only in the past. Now, I know, the past holds sweet memories. The wedding day, the birth of children, the festivals, the successes, we all love to remember them. But some people never move beyond them. Every conversation begins with, back in my time, and ends with sadness about how today is not the same. The problem is that when we live only in yesterday, we lose today. An old man I knew kept albums of black and white photographs. Every day he would flip through them, sigh, and say, those were the days. Now life is meaningless, yet he ignored the fact that today he still had grandchildren who wanted his stories, a garden that needed his care, and neighbors who admired his wisdom. My friends, memories are treasures, but they should not be chains. Keep them, love them, but also open your eyes to the beauty of the present moment. The birds that sing outside your window, the new technology that allows you to video call your children, the laughter of young people, all of these are gifts. Yesterday is gone, but today is alive. Don't waste it by staring only at the shadows of the past. The fourth mistake that makes old age miserable is refusing to learn new skills. How often do we hear seniors say, "I'm too old for that"? Whether it is learning to use a smartphone, trying a new hobby, or even attempting a new exercise, many seniors shut the door on growth. This is foolishness because the brain never stops growing. Science has proven that learning keeps the mind sharp, reduces the risk of dementia, and brings joy. I once saw a grandmother of 75 learning to play the piano. She could not read music at first, and her fingers moved slowly, but her determination was inspiring. Within 2 years, she was playing simple songs, and her face would light up with every note. Her grandchildren admired her more than ever. Friends, when we stop learning, we stop living. Whether it is a new recipe, a new word in another language, or even painting, don't say, "I'm too old." Instead, say, "Why not?" Learning is not just for the young, it is for anyone who is alive. The fifth mistake is spending without planning. Money is a sensitive topic, but it cannot be ignored. Some seniors use their retirement savings carelessly, shopping endlessly, giving away too much in excitement, or investing without advice. Later, when health emergencies or unexpected needs come, they suffer. I knew a kind man who loved to give. He would buy expensive gifts for his children and friends, thinking generosity was enough. But when he himself needed surgery, he found himself dependent, ashamed, and stressed. Generosity is beautiful, but wisdom must guide it. Money is not about greed, it is about security. Budgeting is not about selfishness, it is about peace. Seniors who plan their spending, who keep a little aside for emergencies, who seek financial guidance, live without the constant shadow of fear. Money may not buy happiness, but lack of money can bring deep misery. Protect your future with wisdom, not carelessness. The sixth mistake is neglecting mental health. When we talk about health, people think only of the body, blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol. But what about sadness, depression, or anxiety? Too many seniors suffer in silence, believing that feeling low is just part of getting old. That is not true. Mental health is as real as physical health. I met a woman in her 70s who had lost her husband and often cried alone. She thought, "This is my cross to bear," but when she finally spoke to her daughter and visited a counselor, she discovered that there were ways to heal, to cope, to smile again. Meditation, prayer, journaling, joining social groups, all of these strengthen the mind. Talking to loved ones, sharing feelings, even seeking therapy if needed are acts of courage, not weakness. A healthy mind can make even a weak body feel strong. But a troubled mind can make even a healthy body feel like a prison. Don't ignore your thoughts, your emotions, your heart. Caring for the mind is not luxury, it is survival. The seventh mistake that steals peace in old age is refusing help out of pride. Many elders say, "I don't want to bother anyone. I can manage myself." At first it sounds noble, but in reality, it often leads to accidents, falls, or silent suffering. I remember a grandfather who insisted on climbing ladders to fix things even in his late 70s. One day, he fell badly and ended up in the hospital. His pride cost him his independence. My friends, accepting help does not mean weakness, it means wisdom. If your children offer support, accept it with gratitude. If neighbors or friends extend a hand, take it with a smile. The truth is, none of us were created to live alone or handle everything alone. Just as you helped others in your youth, now it is their turn to help you. Pride can be poisonous, humility brings peace. And finally, the eighth mistake, perhaps the greatest of all, is thinking it is too late to be happy. Some seniors believe their best days are gone. They think happiness belongs only to the young. But this is a lie. Happiness does not depend on age. It depends on attitude. I knew a couple in their 80s who began traveling after retirement. They visited places they had only dreamed of in their youth. Their laughter, their joy, their wonder at the world, it was infectious. On the other hand, I knew a man in his 60s who already spoke as though his life was finished. He woke up each day with no purpose, no joy. The truth is, happiness is always possible. Even in simple things, a walk in the park, a new friendship, a favorite meal, music that makes your heart dance. Happiness is not a destination, it is a daily choice. If you think it is too late, then you shut the door on joy. But if you say, I am still alive, I still deserve to smile, then happiness will find you. My dear elders and friends, old age should not be a punishment, it should be a celebration. The years you have lived are not chains, they are medals of wisdom. Avoid these 8 mistakes, and you will see that the evening of life can be as beautiful as the morning. Remember this, it is not the number of years in your life that matters, but the life you put into your years. Do not let foolish mistakes steal your joy. Walk into your later years with wisdom, with dignity, and with a smile that tells the world you are still alive, still learning, and still shining. Thank you.